All right, folks, welcome back. Hope you had a nice weekend. And here we are. We're looking at the dollar index daily chart. Before I get into it, as a reminder, we are in May. Okay, we are in the month that you must have all of your downloads done. Okay, I saw a couple people posting on the forum in one of the user groups stating, I paid for the information and I'm hearing and seeing things that videos are going to be removed. I don't know where you guys been, but I've been talking about this for a year. I mean, I bring it up all the time. You have lifetime access when you download them. I've given you permission. That way you download them. You got plenty of time. You got plenty of time to get it done. I've been telling you, you should all have month 1 through 6 downloaded now, and you should be getting all of the remaining portion of it done. There are some videos I'm going to make available before we get to the last week. And there isn't that many of them, so that way you can get them downloaded. But I have to put them in the right order because when we got hacked, everything got messed up in the forum, and this is a mess. So download, okay? Download all your videos. Right click on the links, save link as or save target as, depending upon what kind of computers or operating system you're using. And that way you can save it on your computer underneath the respective folders that you would create for that individual month content. Okay? All right, so I have had a really challenging day today. I don't realize how much my wife actually does until she's not here. So I'm actually missing her. So hopefully I'll be back in the swing of things come midweek review because she'll be back in the state on Wednesday. So I know, get on with it, right? Get to the point. The point is, I've had a hard day. All right, so dollar index daily chart, and a little bit of a bullish day today. We're looking for that 104 still. And I had a little bit of consolidation today. Well, not today, but in the last few days here. So we'll see if it wants to tear off and rip into that 104 level. After 104, we have 104.50. And then looking for 105. And if we get a blow off move, we're looking for that 107-ish in that area. So we'll see what we get in regards to that. A little bit of a movement down in here. That imbalance. So we'll see if it can send it to 104. Still looking for higher prices on dollar. Foreign currency should remain weak. All right, so here we have the dollar index trading down here into the order block, 2 down closed candles, right for this move up. And we have the imbalance here. So that way we know that this is a qualified bullish order block. Trades into it here and then reclaimed order block here. Now, if it comes back down in here, it's not an order block anymore. Okay, one time revisiting it because we're not supply and demand. Okay, it'll come back to a level. We don't need something fresh. Everything ICT teaches is fresh, baby. So you like that one? So we have a order block traded back to it here, reclaimed, and then starts to move higher. In here we have an order block as well. We trade into it, not in the sense that it goes away and comes back in, but we're trading into it here. So inside that range, expands up. This mouse of mine. The high here, that's the buy side liquidity resting around that 103.90 level. So we'll be looking for that to be pierced and see what we get once we get it. All right, notice this little area here is a little too clean. They went right up into that, upset that liquidity, and we have the imbalance here with the order block. So we'll look to see if it wants to continue on the upside. I don't like it if we go back down below here. So in other words, looking at these relative equal lows, remember that's the reclaimed order block. Go back to the hourly chart and you'll see that. So I don't look at this as, oh, they're going to come down and take those relative equal lows out and then rally higher. I don't see it that way, okay? Because of the hierarchy of what the order block outlined on the hourly chart, that premise and likelihood that we should see higher prices. But if we start seeing it break down and going in here, then it's going to really go back down here. All right, euro dollar daily chart. A little bit of weakness inside today. Not a whole lot of breaking down, but we had this SIBI. We traded back up into that. And now we're in that sweet spot where we want to see it now move lower. If it fails to move lower, that's problematic. That means we'll probably want to go back up into this old low and work back into that range. And that makes it scalping, because that would be against the higher time frame order flow. All right, the hourly chart here. You'll see a imbalance on the 50-minute time frame that trades up into it here. Works lower, liquidity rests below here. Relative equal lows, much in the same way, but just opposite what I mentioned on the dollar index. The sell side resting below here, that was attacked in here. Small little gap, went above it a little bit in here. Really sloppy in my opinion. And here's the 15-minute time frame. Here's our SIBI balanced price range. Trades up into it. Doesn't even completely close it in. Hammers it, drops it lower. Small little fair value gap in here with this swing low. Broken, displacement, fair value gap, sell short, relative equal lows. Bang. That's a really nice setup there. And daily chart, pound dollar. All right, I mentioned we had this objective here. We went down into that. Didn't quite get the full complete closure in that shaded area. That was an imbalance. And you can go back and look at your old commentaries. I mentioned, I don't know, maybe a couple weeks ago. That's where I drew your attention to this specific level. I got an email from someone. Can I do this shaded area, show exactly where it's at all the time in every single video? That creates sometimes a continuity issue for me, and it's your job to be organized. So if you're following along in the commentaries, you'll know what these levels are. Okay, they should be in your charts. So that's why it's important to be moving forward with the commentaries. That way you know. All right, so we have the consolidation here. We're likely to see it move lower. If we move back up into this area here, I don't think it's going to be like go up here to go down. I think it's going to go up here to keep going up here. Okay, I don't see it coming all the way back up to here yet, but it could stab up into here if dollar fails. Okay, what I was suggesting about those relative equal lows, where the reclaimed order block low was and the original run to the order block that was bullish, that would be a failure if it breaks down on dollar like that. So that would send foreign currency, euro, and cable higher. That level right here is about halfway, and the imbalance is a nice big figure, 128. So if we get above this high, I'm thinking we could retrace back up to here. Now, it could go there and resume going lower, but I'm not trying to forecast that far ahead. I like to keep things real close to the vest in the last year and a half or so. All right, hourly chart on pound dollar. We had a nice little run up into the old area of relative equal highs. We swept that on this run here. Optimal trade entry into an imbalance. Fills it. Breaks lower. Comes back up into old imbalance. Again, we're not supply and demand. Sell short. Breaks lower. Nothing in here. It would have been nice to see this like an institutional overflow entry drill there. It didn't offer it. It offered the mitigation block here. That. And then institutional overflow entry drill there. Runs into old order flow here. Failed to get down to the old shaded imbalance. So we'll see if it wants to dig into that overnight tonight. In the 15-minute time frame, you see institutional overflow entry drill there. Nice SIBI here. Breaks lower. Order block. Breaks down. Now, why is this an order block? Fair value gap. Order flow is bearish. Change in the state of delivery. Bang. Nice. Trades lower. Digs into a discount. All right, and I think that's going to be it. I'm not going to cover the S&P and NASDAQ today. I'm going to talk about it tomorrow because it kind of goes in line with the YouTube model, and it'll allow me to incorporate the things that happened today so that you'll get to see it, you understand a little bit more, and there it is. But we got our targets. It hit the objectives that we were looking for. S&P went down, blew out its old low, and then had a nice, wicked seek and destroy day on the NASDAQ Composite Index. So we'll talk about all that on the YouTube channel tomorrow night. Until then, be safe.